Somebody here? Excuse me, somebody here? It's so creepy, and I think that there is nobody, right?
I'm not sure.
Who are you staring at? F off, motherfucker!
Oh my God.
Try to get it back.
라스베가스의 이 화려한 불빛, 지금 당신의 발밑에는 약 2,000명이 숨어 살고 있습니다.
지금 저는 여러분이 라스베가스에서 단 한 번도 보지 못한 모습을 보여드릴 겁니다. Is there something you want to say to the government?
Kiss my
라스베가스는 세상에서 가장 자극적인 도시 중 하나입니다. 하루 평균 10만 명이 넘는 관광객, 매일 수억 달러가 오가는 카지노까지. 이곳은 밤새 불이 꺼지지 않죠. 하지만 저는 여기 전혀 다른 걸 찾으러 왔습니다.
뉴스 같은 걸 봤을 때는 이런 데 오면 좀 찾기도 쉽고 길에 있는 사람들도 좀 많다고 그랬는데 지금 오니까 하나도 없거든요. Actually, it's really hard to see these homeless people on the street in the Las Vegas. So why is that?
They're living hidden inside away the tunnels.
바로 이 호텔 및 터널 안에 수천 명의 사람들이 언제 죽을지 모르는 채 살아가고 있다는 사실이죠.
라스베가스에는 비가 사막성 기후라 가지고 가끔씩 엄청나게 폭우가 쏟아진대요. 그래서 그 폭우를 피하기 위해서 이 지하에다가 1000km 규모로 이 배수 통로가 만들어져 있다고 합니다.
1,500 people live in the 600 miles of tunnels, a very dangerous place to be during storms.
이 터널은 물을 흡수하지 못하는 사막 지형의 홍수를 방지하기 위하여 만든 터널입니다. 총 길이는 960km에 달하며 홍수가 발생 시 수분 만에 터널 내에 물이 차올라 그 안에 모든 것을 집어삼키지만 오갈 곳 없는 사람들은 그곳에 살고 있습니다. 하지만 이곳을 찾는 사람들은 이러한 사실을 아무도 모르죠.
Have you ever heard that approximately 6,000 people are living inside a tunnel beneath this hotel?
No, I don't know.
I am not. No.
No, we have not.
No?
No.
전 이게 사실인지 직접 확인하러 그 터널로 가보기로 했습니다.
제가 지금 나와서 지금 노숙자를 찾아보고 있는데 지금 호텔에서부터 여기까지 거의 한 2km 정도는 걸어온 것 같은데 노숙자들은 단 한 명도 보이질 않더라고요. 노숙자가 많아가지고 이 모든 사람들이 지하에 들어가 있다는데 그런 곳을 찾으려고 해도 찾을 수도 없고 그 사람들이 어디 있는지도 사실 모르겠어요. 그러니까 이 노숙자들 같은 사람들이 전부 다 이 경찰들의 눈이나 이런 단속을 피해가지고 전부 다 지하로 숨어들었다고 합니다. 근데 이제 큰 문제라고 하는 거는 이쪽에 이제 비가 갑자기 쏟아지면 엄청나게 많은 양의 비가 온대요. 그래서 그 배수구 안에 있는 물들이 갑자기 확 늘어나가지고 그 안에 있는 사람들이 많이 죽는다고 합니다. 지금 한 1시간 반째 돌아다니고 있는데 와, 도대체 어디 있는 거지?
한참을 찾아 돌아다닌 끝에 터널 입구 근처까지 갔지만 거기서 우연히 만난 한 분의 이야기를 들을 수 있었습니다.
So how many people there?
any given time between 30 and 50 maybe. That's just in this one.
You are living there?
I kind of move around
Why don't you live there?
because I don't want to go to jail. Cops take you to jail for being homeless.
Oh, really? Oh my God. 이 라스베가스에서 노숙자들에 대한 이런 단속들이 엄청나게 강화가 돼가지고 그 사람들이 전부 다 여기서 이 지상에서 다 없어졌다고 합니다. 그리고 그 지하 터널에는 지금 아직도 1,500명에서 2,000명 정도가 거기 다 몰려 살고 있다고 해요.
It's illegal to be homeless in Vegas. If you live there, if you stay there all the time, cops come down there sometimes. Yeah, they used to not.
Can I go there?
You got to be invited, man. I don't live there right now, so I can't invite you.
So if I want to go there, so I have to be invited there, right?
They're all connected. There's people that run them, like, you know, how you got a hierarchy out here, like you got mayors and governors and stuff like that. It's similar to that. It's like people that you go to if you have a problem. Before you go solving problems yourself, you go to that person and get the okay for the green light.
지금 방금 만났던 분이 말씀하시기를 저쪽 뒤쪽으로 철로를 넘어가면은 그쪽 터널이 나온다고 합니다. 근데 그쪽 사람들이 이제 같이 모여있는 커뮤니티고 낯선 사람에 대한 그런 거부감이 상당히 강하기 때문에 그쪽에 살고 있는 사람의 초대를 받거나 그러지 않으면은 상당히 위험할 수 있다고 해요. 그래서 제가 이렇게 막 무작정 그냥 저 철로를 넘어가지고 그 터널로 가보는 건 좀 위험할 것 같고 해서 아마 다른 방법을 좀 찾으러 좀 가보려고 합니다.
수소문 끝에 저는 수년간 터널 사람들을 도와온 비영리 단체인 홀리스모크와 접촉할 수 있었습니다. 혼자 터널에 접근하는 건 너무나 위험한 일이었지만 수년간 터널 사람들과 신뢰를 쌓아온 그들이 있었기에 저는 그들의 활동과 터널의 삶을 들여다볼 수 있었습니다.
What is the most important item for them?
Definitely water in the summer, water, and then we also take bags of ice. All right, we have a lot of Narcan that we pass out. We got some feminine hygiene stuff.
Some tunnels have more women, some tunnels have older people. Bring our supplies according to the needs of those groups.
And people really need socks because, like, otherwise your sweaty feet are in your soles and it causes like blisters and stuff.
Extreme pain. Other people doing this work, we just supply it, no strings attached. Different charities that they'll require that they do some kind of religious act. They don't like to take a lot of these services because a lot of people have trauma from being abused by churches.
Being
And-
churches?
Yeah, the churches, there's a lot of religious abuse. And that kind of, in a lot of cases, that's why they're homeless, is that trauma that they went through.
Oh, really? How could it possible?
The churches are a huge source of like child abuse and just all kinds of. So they don't want to go to a church for the free meals there.
Oh my God.
And some places they want to get you into a shelter and then take all the like if they receive government money like Social Security, they take their money from them.
Oh my God, really?
Yeah.
Is it real?
Oh yeah. There's a lot of money
Oh
being made
my-
off of homeless people.
Do they really rely on your organization?
Some people do. Yeah, some
people
people
do.
we're like a lifeline for.
And they know that we're going to be there every Wednesday. Everyone knows our schedule. We switch between tunnels each week. Under the Trump administration, they cut EBTs.
Federal food aid, known as SNAP benefits, are set to end for over 40 million Americans this Saturday.
I used to get like a couple hundred. Now it's $20.
Is not free?
Giving free food.
Oh, really? 저는 그 터널에 사는 분들을 도와드리는 이 홀리 스모크 분들이랑 지금 같이 장을 좀 보러 왔어요. 이 터널에 사시는 분들에게 가장 중요한 거는 물이라고 해요. 지금 밖에 온도가 45도 정도 되기 때문에 이런 물이 없으면 그분들이 살아갈 수가 없고, 그분들이 대부분 이제 나이가 좀 드신 분들이어가지고 이분들이 주는 이런 물 같은 거나 이런 구호물품들을 가지고 생활하시는 분들이 상당히 많다고 합니다. 그래서 이분들이 매주 100인분의 이런 물과 음식을 준비해가지고 항상 나눠주신다고 해요.
We don't take any pay. We spend our own money on it. All of our volunteers do. What we're really trying to develop is people who make a small, like $5, $10 monthly donation automatically, because that helps us plan for the future. On our website, we accept donations. 100% of it goes to the work.
이 터널이 전체적으로 라스베가스에 펼쳐져 있는데 이런 물이나 이런 구호물품들을 전부 다 가지고 그 터널 입구로 지금 현재 가고 있어요. 터널에 들어가는 입구도 사실 이게 경찰들이나 이런 단속들이 좀 있기 때문에 이 터널 입구를 좀 찾아가는 것부터가 좀 일인 것 같긴 합니다. 이 라스베가스의 진짜 지하에는 누가 살고 있는지 지금부터 한번 알아보러 가보겠습니다.
그들은 신분을 밝히며 터널로 접근했고 안쪽에서 몇몇 사람들이 나왔습니다. 낯선 사람에겐 극도로 위험한 곳이었지만 이들을 알아본 사람들은 경계를 풀었죠.
Do you know, price tag 2 pairs of socks?
Oh yeah, you can have socks, yeah.
지금 여기를 들어가려면은 이분들의 허가가 필요하다고 해요. 그래가지고 이 앞에서 지키고 있는 분들에게 지금 허가를 받아서 안으로 들어가려고 합니다. There is a light. There is a light, right?
Yeah.
Oh, why there is a light?
Someone coming up.
Someone coming up?
It's holy smoke. We got the food, water, socks, batteries all up front here.
그리고 얼마 지나지 않아 터널에 거주하는 분을 만날 수 있었습니다.
How long have you been here?
I've been in these tunnels for 8 years.
8 years.
8 years.
Oh my goodness. Where are you from originally?
Mississippi.
Why did you choose Las Vegas? Because there is LA with the great weather.
That's where we were headed, to California, me and my girlfriend at the time. Truck broke down. They towed it, couldn't afford to get it out, and here I sit. But, it is dangerous, with the water and everything.
Does your family know that you are living here?
Yeah, well, they think I'm crazy.
So how much longer are you going to stay here?
I don't know. I hope not too much longer.
How to make or get money?
Right now I'm recycling
Could you show me?
scrap metal.
Could you show me?
I got, it's up here is what I've done so far today. Aluminum. I got copper here and more aluminum in here.
그리고 더 깊이 들어갈수록 더 많은 사람들이 살고 있었죠.
And we just want to go back to the gallery if that's cool. Just take some pictures back there. Cool. Got batteries? Yeah, we got some batteries right here.
Some hygiene stuff.
Double A's work for you?
Yep.
Okay.
실제로 이 안에서 사람들이 살고 있네. 지금 전부 다 이 안에서 사람들이 살고 있는데 불이 하나도 없이 그냥 살고 있어요.
Yeah.
Do you have an extra cigarette?
Yeah, we're just going back to the gallery here,
여기 진짜 넓다. 이 안에가 엄청 넓고 되게 길어요. 지금 엄청나게 길고 이 천장이 되게 낮아요. 그래서 지금 여기서 사는 사람들이 이렇게 깊이까지 들어와가지고 지금 살고 있어요. 지금 어디까지 들어가는지 모르겠는데 지금 끝도 없이 들어가야 돼요. 지금
We're just coming through to the gallery.
이게 계속해서 사람들에게 자기들이 지금 어딜 간다고 알려야 돼요.
Holy smoke. Crash back.
여기 밝은 장소가 나타났어요 지금.
Yeah, and then we got
What is this?
Caesar's Palace.
아, Caesar's Palace.
Yeah.
아, 이 위에 지금 시저스 팰리스가 이렇게 있어요.
이곳은 라스베가스의 화려함과 어두운 삶을 극단적이고도 대조적으로 보여주는 그런 장소였습니다.
위에는 호텔이 있고 이렇게 바로 밑에는 지금 터널에서 사람들이 살고 있는 거예요. 아, 이 앞에는 쓰레기가 엄청나게 많고 악취가 엄청나요 여기는. 지금 냄새가 너무 많이 나요 여기는. 진짜 여기는 너무나 더럽고 여기서 살만한 곳은 못 되는 것 같은데 이곳에도조차 사람이 산다는 게 이제 신기해요. So how fast does the water level rise inside this tunnel when it floods?
You can kind of see on the walls. Some years it'll come up this high or even higher. Often, even if it's not a heavy rain, because of the way the system works, even a slight sprinkle, you'll get like water up to here.
지금 보이는 이곳만 유일하게 이렇게 빛이 들어오는 곳이에요. 빛을 보기가 힘들기 때문에 이곳에 사람들이 온다고 합니다. 좀 더 앞으로 좀 더 들어가 볼게요.
그리고 더 안쪽에 사는 한 여성분을 만날 수 있었습니다.
So how dangerous is it here when it rains in Vegas?
It don't rain often, but when it does, honey, it's very scary.
Have you ever experienced losing something belongs to you?
Oh, honey, I've lost everything many times here. Many times I've lost so much, more than I should have.
Oh my God.
And I almost lost my own life.
Own life?
Several times. There was a time that I woke up and my bed was floating. That was really scary. The water had already come, and it had got to the point to where I almost couldn't walk out of here. And the debris is what really gets you the most. You know, you not only have water, which, what is it, 2 inches of water can move a car. So like, you can imagine having water up to your knees and the debris coming from everywhere too, trying to not get hit by that also, you know, if you don't keep up with the weather here. Or if it just, and it does happen, freak rains that comes and like it you just never know.
그렇게 뭐가 있을지 모르는 깊은 어둠 속으로 계속해서 들어갔지만 그곳에도 역시 사람들은 살고 있었습니다.
How could you survive in this tunnel?
I've made this walk in these tunnels thousands and thousands of times since 1992. This is my home, man. I mean, you know what? When it's all said and done, this is where I live at. This is where I sleep at.
I believe that you're very clean. I mean, not just drug addict, something like that. But is there any reason that you're here? Specific reason? Because you could enjoy your normal life, but did you come here just stay away from the people?
Yeah, to me, listen, this is my normal life. And you know what? The fact that I do use drugs, I mean, the one thing that everybody has in common down here is everybody down here does methamphetamine. We don't do fentanyl. We don't do heroin.
How does it handle the bathroom?
I go to the bathroom in the casinos. I don't have to go to the casino to pee or whatever, but if I gotta go to the casino, I go to the casinos. I don't. So as you go down here, listen, as you go down through here, your feet are gonna get soaking wet because there's a lot of water down there.
Okay.
And the water stinks. Watch your step, it's slippery.
여기는 지금 밑에가 완전히 이런 물로 차 있어가지고 조심해야 돼요 여긴.
See, all this is from all the people throughout the years that have been down here. All of this stuff. It's all built up and it's... Who is that?
와, 여기는 물이...
It sounded like somebody in front of us.
So is there any rule for living here?
Yeah, don't get into other people's stuff. Stay out of everybody else's business. Don't get involved in nobody's relationship. If they have a female, don't take anything that don't belong to you. If it ain't yours, don't touch it. Someone's up ahead of us. I already see a light up there. I don't know who the that is. Fire burning up there.
Who is that?
I live in this motherfucker. That's who the I am. All right.
Oh, how can you take a shower?
Because there's clean water that comes through this hole over here. Clean enough to where you can wash your body, do your laundry. It's like the laundry spot where everybody goes and cleans up at right there and everything else. People that are down here are pretty much hand-picked to be down here, else they wouldn't be down here.
이 어둠 속에서도 그들만의 규칙이 있었고 그들만의 질서가 있었습니다. 범죄자 취급을 받고 있는 이 사람들은 그냥 갈 곳을 잃은 사람들이었고 누구나 이런 상황에 처할 수 있었던 겁니다.
What is the local government official stance regarding this tunnel and the people living in there?
They look at it as a criminal offense. To sleep outside is against the law. People are commonly brought into jail and arrested for sleeping outside.
People think, oh, it's because of drugs. It's because there's something wrong with them. It's like there's so many ways that people fall into homelessness. A missed paycheck, medical bills, student loan debt, you know, things like that. And it can happen overnight.
그리고 함께 온 분도 더 이상 깊이 들어가길 꺼려해서 다른 분과 함께 더욱더 깊은 곳으로 들어가 봤습니다.
What is this?
What?
This light?
Oh,
Where is this from?
right here.
Right here?
Yeah, there's a hole.
Oh my God, there is
That's
a hole.
manhole cover. That's in the parking lot across the street.
Oh my God. So aren't you scared when you are living here?
I used to be, yeah. Sometimes sometimes I get the creeps where we're going right now. Sometimes I get the creeps back there. If you don't want to be on camera, hide your face. Okay. You got what?
Really? Do you have a PhD?
Dude's pretty
my
sharp.
God. 여기가 이분들의 샤워하는 장소래요. 여기서 깨끗한 물이 흘러나온다고 그래가지고 이분들 샤워하는 장소라고 합니다. 이 안에 연기가 가득해요. 지금 저분이 저기다가 불을 피워가지고 저기 연기가 가득해요. There's lots of smoke here. Oh my God, smoke. 밑에 물이 가득해가지고 발이 다 젖었어요.
저희는 꽤 오랜 시간을 걸어서 터널 깊숙한 곳으로 들어갔습니다. 하지만 그 이유는 이분 역시도 가보지 않은 어떤 위험이 있을지 모르는 곳이었기 때문에 저희는 발길을 돌릴 수밖에 없었습니다.
All right, I don't want to go any further.
It's so creepy and I think that there is nobody, right?
I'm not sure.
Oh yeah, it's so creepy. Yeah. Okay. It's okay. Oh my goodness. It's so creepy. There is no people here, right? What made you decide to start helping these people?
But when I was 18, I became homeless in Oakland. And then one day the rent went from like $1,000 to like $4,000 overnight. And I simply couldn't afford that at 18. I have a personal experience with homelessness. I know what it's like to be shut out by society, dehumanized, people turn their backs on you. So when I came out to Vegas and I was introduced to this charity, I felt like a calling to do this work, basically. It's just very important to me. It's always just left a mark on me. And I have a lot of deep empathy for people who are homeless, you know, because I totally understand what it's like.
How did the people living here end up down in this tunnel?
Various ways. Wind up outside because of maybe a health problem, coming up short on their rent 1 month, and they're evicted within 3 days.
People think that like everyone in the tunnels is like a violent maniac, like, oh, they're gonna get you. It's a huge misconception and it just vilifies the people that live there.
You know, in terms of how people become homeless, right now, Shauna and I are under eviction. We have slumlords, and we're capable people. We're young and healthy and have jobs, almost too much for us to handle. And if a person had a medical problem, or if they were elderly or just not as cognizant, then they would just wind up homeless from this struggle that they have. Yeah, everybody can become homeless. There's no protection, nobody's special in this system. Anybody can become homeless.